Hi, folks. Lou here, and I'm going to talk a bit about gods in fantasy games. Now, the number one question here are your fantasy role playing game gods, or maybe your other not role playing game fantasy game? Are they omniscient, omnipresent, all powerful? And so, in other words, omniscient, they know everything, omnipresent, they're always around, so they know what's happening, and all powerful, of course, they can do anything that they want. Well, Christians and Muslims tend to think that way. They have one God, and that God can do anything, at least theoretically. But that's not how many of the ancients thought. Um, the ancient gods tended to be more like very powerful humans or like superheroes, other than Ahura Mazda and the Christian God. And of course, Islam comes from the early 600s Christian era, so that's not ancient anymore. Of course, there's also a point of view that is called monolatry, monolatry, and I may not be pronouncing that right. It's the belief in the existence of many gods, but with the consistent worship of only one deity. That's what the Jewish religion was initially. You know, when Yahweh said, "You can have no other god before me," that's because there were other gods. But that has become, I think, in modern times at least, uh, monotheism, where there is only one God. And of course, for Christians, there was never any other gods, just one God. The oddball thing is there that the Christian New Testament is the Jewish Bible, more or less. Um, so you can have different attitudes like that one. Um, Another question that somebody asked, if there is a god of magic, should its clerics have access to all arcane magic? And my answer generally is, in a magical world, would there be a god of magic? Perhaps not. It's just part of everything. Or if it is, then you, as the creator of the world, has to decide whether, in fact, there should be a god of magic, and then if clerics can use arcane magic rather than divine magic. And I don't see any reason why you couldn't have somebody who could use both. And of course, in D&D, for example, early D&D, you could have a cleric magic user, which I thought was an abomination, but a player brought one into my campaign, and he was quite interesting because despite being a cleric magic user, he was called the Balrog Slayer because he'd killed a couple of the old style Balrogs, which were relatively easy to kill. He had the numbers and he had the equipment as a cleric to put up a good fight. Anyway, there are all kinds of nuances of this, aren't there? This is just a few to think about. Thanks for listening.